Well, welcome back and thanks for joining us on this gorgeous sunny evening in Cannes. Now, many men claim to have been to bed with Madonna, but only one man has it on film. 26-year-old Alek Keshishian has made his directorial debut with a movie showing behind the scenes, both on stage and off, of Madonna's life, and he's lived to tell about it. Welcome, Alek Keshishian.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Alek. Now, you're, without doubt, part of the biggest story to have hit the film festival this year. I mean, it's been a real circus around the whole Madonna thing. How does it feel to be part of that? Are you exhausted by the attention?
It's unusual for me because I'm used to being behind the camera. To suddenly find myself in front is disconcerting, to say the least, especially when you're with Madonna, who gets so much attention. But yesterday, for the first time, I had people running around asking me for my autograph, which I just really questioned what they would do with a piece of paper with my name on it.
Well, what they do with a piece of paper with Madonna's name on it, I don't know.
I know, they probably frame that. Mine will probably just go in the laundry, you know, in the back of their pants.
Now, so how did Jesse get the job? Because obviously it's a huge project. I mean, this movie's starring probably the biggest star there is in the world today, and you're just 26 years old.
Well, Madonna put an ad out in the paper, and I answered. I was the only person who responded. What person would like to go on the road for 5 months with Madonna?
So this was just like help wanted?
Help wanted.
Yeah.
She actually just called me. It was almost as silly. I was sitting at home one afternoon, working on a music video idea for a singer who was then unheard of, named Mariah Carey. And the phone rang, and on the other end was Madonna, as if this was the most common occurrence in my afternoon. She just said, "Hi, it's Madonna. I was wondering if you want to film my concert." And the behind-the-scenes stuff really evolved from that. Around 4 days after this phone call, I was on a plane to Japan. She had seen my Wuthering Heights project that I had done at Harvard, and she had kept up with some of my music videos. So I guess she had been keeping an eye on me, unbeknownst to me.
So your lifestyle there, you're sitting at home, Madonna's calling you, and you're rushing off to Japan, very much like all of our viewers, no doubt. So
Yeah.
they could expect to call from Madonna any day as well.
It could happen.
Now, she financed the movie herself, which I guess is pretty unusual. How much did it actually cost?
Probably nothing for her, I mean, compared to what she's got. You know, she didn't really finance it. She began financing it, and then at a point in the filming, the movie itself was sold. So what she did, in a sense, was she acted like a bank. She gave the loan until the movie was bought by the studios that then decided to distribute it.
And so what did she hope to achieve? She just wanted a good concert film, or was she trying to be revealing about herself?
No, initially she just wanted a concert film with behind-the-scenes stuff, and she said, you know, do you want to go around the world and you will shoot the concert and then you'll do the behind-the-scenes? And I thought, it's funny because as much as that might be a fantasy for somebody, when you really get right down to it, the idea of, you know, schlepping around the world with a suitcase and just shooting people getting on and off buses is remarkably boring. And my career was doing well, and I didn't want to do that. So what I told her was, look, I'll do the concert, but as far as the behind-the-scenes stuff go, if you just want that typical sort of slow motion, you getting out of a car with paparazzi bulbs and your dancers getting off buses, I'm not really interested. And she said, well, what would you be interested in? And I said, well, to make the sort of movie, sort of documentary that I would want to sit in the theater and watch.
Which is basically someone sucking on a Coke bottle.
That's right, absolutely, and other things. No, I think it was just, you know, to get the access and to make sure that I was directing this thing and that she wasn't directing me. So I asked her for complete access and final cut, and I really thought I had talked her out of giving me the job that way.
Yeah.
And instead, the next day she came back and she said, okay, let's do it.
Do you think, is it then, do you feel an honest picture of her on screen?
Yes, I do. I think it is honest. I think it's tremendously honest. I think we're so accustomed to seeing fiction film and accepting that as truth that there are elements in this movie now that fight against what we've come to understand as truth and honesty. And the old saying that says, you know, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, I think certainly applies in this movie. People who know Madonna well would say this absolutely captures the way she is. Now, whether or not she spends her entire life acting, that's a different question.
Yeah, because there is, a lot of people have said maybe that she's always performing, she's always on.
That's true, but I prefer to almost reverse that and say, you know, take someone like Hemingway. Was he living the life of his characters, or were the characters, you know, born from him? And so, in other words, what I'm saying is perhaps Madonna isn't performing at all. Perhaps even when she's on stage, she's just extending the way she is off stage.
Just a larger-than-life gal.
I just think that she's got a viewpoint on life that's fascinating because it's outspoken to a certain degree, and I think she carries it over onto the stage. So really, it's a chicken and the egg question. Which came first, really? You know. I'm not sure.
Well, let's have a look at a clip of either the chicken or the egg. We're not quite sure which.
Okay.
From the movie Madonna, In Bed with Madonna. Let me ask you about the actual style of the film, because all the concert stuff is shot in colour, and then all the kind of backstage, the really personal stuff is in black and white. Why was that? What were you doing there?
Well, we felt the black and white could hide her zits better, and the bags under her eyes and stuff. Black and white actually is a far more flattering stock when you're in unknown lighting conditions. In color, you have to worry about color temperature. So I'm giving the unartistic answer to that because I know the metaphor, I think, is pretty obvious. So metaphorically, it's the color, the theatricality of stage, and then somewhat rawer and hopefully more real life behind the scenes.
But does she have a lot of zits?
No.
Do you see her without her makeup much? I mean, did you hang out
all the time?
And what is the difference?
In the movie, I mean, in the behind-the-scenes stuff, a lot of the time she has no makeup on. I mean, you see it. She's not. This might be surprising. She's remarkably not vain about the way she looks. I mean, the first time I shot something with her for the behind-the-scenes stuff, I went to great lengths to light it. You know, I thought, God, I have to compete with Vogue and express yourself in these videos that cost millions of dollars to make, and so I went to great lengths to light something, and she came and she moved her chair around a foot, and I said, well, Madonna, you just went out of the light, and she said, listen, I told you you could film everything. I didn't tell you that, you know, I had to sit everywhere you told me. And I said, okay, but you're out of the light, and she said, that's okay, it'll look more tragic this way.
Is she a bossy woman then? Is she kind of...
She is a bossy woman, but she does not mind if you boss back. I mean, she is a control freak, but then so was I, and I think that made for a good working relationship, because once we got through our initial fighting, she got to a point after Japan where she let me do whatever I wanted, which I think is the most shocking to most people.
Well, the movie I know opens in the UK in July, so good luck with it. Are you going to put it behind you and come back maybe next year with a new project, a new film?
Absolutely. As soon as they let me out of the asylum, I will be back working.
Thanks for talking to us. Thank you, Alek Keshishian. Well, that's it. All we've got time for. I'm afraid we're now heading away from Cannes, back to the gorgeous confines of London SE1. So join us again on Wednesday for another show, without the sea, without the rocking motion, but with, of course, me and some guests. See you then.